I'm going to be frying some fish today. I have some bluegill and shell cracker. These were caught by a friend of ours. They've already been cleaned, degutted, and all the scales removed. So now it's just a matter of me prepping them to get ready to fry. What I'm going to use is a very simple technique, and that just involves seasoning them with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then coating them with a cornmeal mix. And this is a it's not a coarse ground cornmeal, it's ground very finely, fine ground. And it's got a little bit of salt, pepper in it, in addition to a little bit of flour. I think I have a ratio of 2-to-1 cornmeal to flour. I'm going to first take the fish and put a couple of slits in it on both sides. And the purpose of these slits is so that I could put the salt and pepper in the slits so that it will season the fish more internally than just seasoning the skin. You don't have to go very deep, though sometimes my knife does slip off in there. And we'll get these all done. Does it matter which way you go? Nah, I could go where I just go slit, slit, or I can go slit, slit. It's up to you. You do you, I do me. We'll get all these done. And I'll get my little tray here so that as I add the salt and pepper, I'll just put it in the tray. And I left a little bit of those paper towels in there because I do want this fish to dry out pretty good before I put it in the water, else you'll get a lot of splatter. So you just sort of put that salt and pepper in those slits. You also might want to get some on the outside because you are going to be eating all the fish, including the skin. If you have other seasonings that you'd like to use, please feel free. Doesn't have to be salt and pepper. You want to use a Creole seasoning, use that. If you want to use something like Old Bay or something like that, up to you. Depends on your flavors and what you like. Now that we got our fish seasoned, now I'm gonna dab it in the cornmeal and get it all in those grooves. Because when we get it to fry up, we want it to fry up crisp all over. So we make sure we get it all in there. Now, how soon should it do this before frying? I would say no more than about 10-15 minutes, because you don't want that coating to get really, really wet. But I've done it longer than that, and it still came out okay. Just like to have real crispy and not a lot of moisture that's going to be drawn out, because we did put that salt and pepper on here. As I said, make sure you get it all inside of there and inside the cavity. Now some of you may ask the question, why didn't I just put this in a plastic bag and shake it up and around in there? And the primary reason for that is that I do want to make sure that this cornmeal flour mixture gets in those grooves. And when you flap it around in a bag, you have to go back in again and do what I'm doing, so I might as well do it from the beginning. Okay. Our fish is now all coated. We're ready to fry. I'm going to be cooking this fish in a cast iron skillet, stovetop. I prefer to do it outside on the deck, but today I decided let me just go on and do it inside. It's cooler in here. I've got a tray, and I have a draining tray in there also so that the oils can drop to the bottom and not soak on the fish, and we can get airflow around the fish to keep it crispy. I've got a thermometer. This is a candy or frying thermometer, and it's just to keep track of my temps. I'm going to try to keep it around 340 to 350 degrees for this cook. Everything's all set up. I've just got the cornmeal there just in case I have to recoat any of the pieces of fish. I'm going to start with the smaller pieces first, and then I'll get to the larger ones in the end. I've got the fire going on the cast iron skillet. It's heating up. It's got a ways to go. And we'll get this fish fried. And in between cooks, I try to get in and get some of that cornmeal out of there because I don't want it to burn. And here we go in with our second round. Included to dinner tonight, grits. Grits always goes well with fried fish. So we've got grits and I've got butter in there. And so it's just sitting here stovetop staying hot. Included in this dinner tonight, I'm going to have a salad of fresh vine-ripened tomatoes with basil and a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese on it. Just basic, simple salad.